Halloween, baby. You sent me some sick questions, so I'm going to answer a few of them. This one's from Thomas Greaves. Was that too low? Was that in the shot? No. Thomas Greaves. What stuff should you include in your portfolio and what stuff should you avoid? Include the stuff you are proud of. That's it. You don't have to include or uninclude anything. The only thing I'd ever say about portfolio is don't draw tattoo designs and then go to a tattoo shop and say, look, I've drawn some designs. They're not going to give a shit. Draw your stuff. Forget about tattooing. Just draw. Go to the tattoo shop and then say, look, here's all my shit. You know, I'm really interested in becoming a tattooist. I did draw some designs that I thought would be really cool as tattoos at one point. I could show them if you're interested. There you go, man. There's nothing to avoid. You can fucking tattoo whatever you draw. Anything you draw can become a tattoo. So just put it all in there. But just put the stuff in that you're proud of. Don't, like, I've had a few people come in and the first 3 pages will be like, yeah, I'm really happy with this. Yeah, you know what? I'm not too fussed about that. And the more the pages go on, it's like, yeah, this is kind of shit. Oh, I don't even know why I left this in here. And the last page, they're fucking pulling it out and tearing up. Oh, this is a pile of crap. I don't want to hear that shit, man. I want you to be show me stuff you're proud of. This one's from _ Athio. Athio. What's the biggest leap of faith you took during your tattoo career? All right. Good question. Good question. The biggest leap of faith that I took during my tattoo career. Okay, at the very beginning of my tattoo career, I fell out with the guy who taught me, and he fired me. And I spent a year out of tattooing. Was it a year around that? And yeah, I was just bumming about, really. I didn't do much, and I was getting back into it. And I managed to speak to a shop in a town near me. And it was a different shop to the one I started in. And they said, yeah, come down, we'll have a chat. So I was getting the bus there. I had my portfolio. I'd already been tattooing for about 2.5 years, or like, you know, apprentice tattooing. And I had my drawings as well. And I thought, you know, I'm close enough. I was pretty sure I was going to get it. I was on the way there on the bus. A guy from that studio that I was originally at, where I fell out with the owner, called me up and went, look, come in. I think I can get you a job back. And in my head, I was thinking, do I want to do this? I really didn't get on with him. I didn't like the town it was in. But this guy called me. His name's Callie Radarski, he's just Callie. Actually, I don't know what it is on Instagram. I'll link it in the video here. He basically taught me everything. I loved him. I loved him muchly. He was a great guy. A beautiful guy. Still is. He's a fucking dude. And I went, you know what? If he's asking me to come back, I'm going to come back. And I went back. And then the rest is history. If it hadn't gone that way, God knows where I'd be now. If I hadn't picked up the phone or I'd said no and I didn't get the other job, I don't know, man. It's weird. But that's the biggest... That's not a massive leap of faith, really. But it's the biggest leap of faith I've taken in my career. This one's from Sam Roberts Tattoos. With your stippling layers, do you use different washes or straight black? Different washes, my man. A lot of the time it's just black, and I like spread the dots out a bit more to emulate a lighter shade. I did a piece today. It looked better if the skin was fully saturated, apart from a very few pieces where the skin would be the highlight. So everything that wasn't them few pieces, I would go from black and all the shades up until skin. So I used everything because I use Electrum ink, and they do black, darkest dark, medium light, and I used all of them, all the different shades. I'd wipe my needle off, go in, and yeah, it was good. And I think it's good practice. If you just use black, you're gonna. The problem is you can spread the dots out, but the dots will still be quite black. So you're never going to get a light as a shade as you would if you used light or medium. So I think it's good practice to use all your shades. This one's from this one's from Anna Thanasio, or Nathan Asio. I think it's Anatha. I don't know, actually. Either way. And yeah. What inspires you to keep going during art blocks? Films. Music, mostly. Like film music, film scores, games, films, art books, scouring for Instagram. Just look, I mean, a lot of the time it is probably Instagram. I just find some cool shit and I'm like, yeah, man, I want to draw something like that. ArtStation's really good for that, like game concept art. But there isn't really one thing. I just get an idea and start it. And a lot of the time it doesn't go anywhere and it's pretty shit. But the other lot of the time, it does. The main thing to do is if you're drawing, if you're in the middle of something and you're drawing and you get stuck, I did a whole video on this. I'll put that here somewhere. Stop, put that down and just give your head a break for a minute. Yeah, watch a film, watch some YouTube. Like I've watched, oh man, I get so carried away with like ancient mythology and like ancient civilization videos and this whole UFO, UAP thing. Like I'd love to discuss that in some videos at some point, but I don't want to like stray too far from tattooing. Man, I'm into that shit, like really into that shit. Like the Sphinx was found, man. It was found by the Egyptians. I fully believe that. I'm Marwilla, Imi, basically. Good friend. Steve used to work at a studio, his girlfriend. What a great couple. Imi, I love you. Her question is, aliens! So I'm like, yeah, man. It's not even a question, but it's so sick. Aliens. All night long. Hell yeah. This one's from Busted J. How do you feel when you see other artists copy your designs? Good question. Good question. I don't feel much. I actually don't mind. I know a lot of friends of mine and people I know who tattoo, like, yeah, fucking call them out, man. Make them feel like shit. Fuck them guys. They're fucking pieces of fucking shit. Fuck them. And I'm like, nah, do you know what? It's promotion. Like, I would be upset if, like, a shit hot artist copied my stuff and did a really fucking killer job of it. To the point where in my head I'm like, well, that's better than mine. That's not fair. No, I mean, even if that did happen, I don't mind. Like, yeah, go on, do it, man. Draw some daggers. I don't own them. I don't like the fact when people literally take the exact design and put it on the skin. Like that complete rip-off. And the only reason I don't like that is because my customer paid for that time to get that design. I don't reuse designs. They paid for that tattoo. So it's a bit of a piss take. But if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. You know, a lot of these people tag me in it. Or in the comments, there'll be an army of people tagging me in it. And that's fine. So I'm getting mentioned either way. So I don't actually mind. If you want to do it, do it. I don't give a shit. Just try and do a good job, yeah? Don't ruin people's bodies, you fucks. This one's from Akir.ttt. Tips for contrast in tattoo designs. I sometimes struggle with things getting muddy. Contrast, muddy, yeah. So, I like to start with the blacks, and I mean solid black. Like, you've got to not be afraid to put black in. And I think after a while of tattooing, you'll start to see how your shades heal. So sometimes when you put like a dark in, it will look black for like half an hour until it like settles in a bit more. But it'll never be black. So you've just got to understand that. But this is why I use harsh lighting. One side will always be quite bright and the other side will be almost black. And then once you put the black in, you'll start to see where you can, you know, where you have room to add other shades. Like, I really like tattoos that have like a, you know, the big contrast. They have the really light, the really dark. And in the dark, there's different textures and patterns because it's not all black. The black would come from a fold. So if you've got like, how do I recreate it? So like, you can see that side of my hand there is light. That side is almost black. So think of that as harsh light. But then look at my other hand and it's almost black to light again. But then there's like a dark grey in the middle, yeah? So you just got to think about it like that. You've got to look at forms. A good thing to do is There's some websites, I can't remember the top of my head. If I remember them, I'll put them on the screen, where you can rotate and use 3D models. That's a good way of doing it. I learned Blender before, so sometimes if I get stuck on lighting, I'll put something in Blender and set up some lights in that. I should go in depth on this, because I probably have to write a little bit of a script. Because I don't know, fucking talking off the top of my head's hard when I'm talking about this stuff. I don't want to give you confusing information. But don't be afraid to use a lot of black. And don't be afraid to use strong contrast, like strong lighting on subjects. I'll help better on a longer video with that one. This one's from Triples IX Wish. IX Wish for a lot of money. Triple times the amount. What are the best styles beginner tattoo artists should do? Now, there isn't. Nah. You do the style that you drew in. That's what you should practice. If you want to get a style, practice the style you were comfortable drawing in before you started tattooing. There isn't a style you should go for. Like, that's an alien question to me. I feel like you should almost have a kind of taste for a style before you start tattooing. So if you've started tattooing and you're trying to pick a style, I think no, you should go back to the drawing board, just get a pencil out, start drawing again. Find what you enjoyed to draw beforehand and go for that. I mean, by all means, if you start tattooing and you were an oil painter, but you love the look of trad and it really tickles your fucking ballsack, then yeah, start drawing some trad. And if you really enjoy it, pursue that. But don't just find one that's a good one to start with. Like, there isn't a good one to start with. You want to go with one that you're passionate about. This one is Ilya Levsha. Ilya Levsha. She says, "Hi, Jason. First of all, thank you for your very useful and high quality YouTube channel." Thank you. I appreciate that muchly. Really does make me feel good about doing this stuff. And she asked, "Can you tell us what kind of fake skin exercises beginners could do to improve their skills?" Yeah, man. Like, this is another thing I can make a video on. And maybe I will, actually, because we got Alice doing this. We did one. I'll give you one of them for now. Like, I thought was really cool. Was shading from corners. So she was practicing stipple shading or whip shading, whatever the fuck you want to call it, with a free liner. You could do it with a mag as well to get smooth. But let's say you start by shading from a flat edge, yeah? Start whipping out from the side. Probably the easiest one. And then try and make that look smooth. Bit of cross-hatching, great. Then you go from a corner. Start from the corner. Because you can't, you could do it cross-hatching. But if you want it to be like a dark in the corner and spread out, you kind of have to go a bit from the corner, so it gets hard. Then you go from a square, so the middle of the square is light, and then you go for the hard one, like a circle, because that way every line's going to cross itself. It's difficult. So they're good exercises to do to start with on fake skin. Yeah, that's a good. Give that a try. See if that helps. And maybe I'll make a video. Maybe I'll sit down and get Alice in a video. I'll sit down with Alice and we'll fucking discuss some shit about her apprenticeship and Yaz. Oh my god, what a great idea. Okay, maybe we'll do that another time. Thank you for checking out my video. This is just, a big mix of questions that I got sent. I hope some of the answers helped you guys. If you have any other questions, you can put them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like some stuff, leave a comment, do whatever the fuck you want, but please show your support, please. And if you feel like proper supporting, then get over on Patreon and subscribe to that, because that will help a lot. Or buy something from my store, or buy me a coffee. Links all down below. I love you muchly, and good evening.